Let me ask you something that might shake your morning coffee a little. What if I told you the spare change rattling around in your kitchen drawer could be worth more than a brand new Ferrari? Now imagine pulling out a 2019 penny, just a plain old, no mint Mark Lincoln Memorial cent, and realizing it's worth $1.4 million. That's your heart wondering if you've accidentally thrown away your retirement plan in a vending machine. You're watching this because you've got an itch, that curiosity about old coins, the thrill of hidden treasures, and maybe just maybe, the dream of never working another Monday again, because today, we're not just talking about a penny. We're talking about the $1 million secret behind the 2019 no mint Mark Memorial Lincoln penny, a coin that has turned collectors' heads, flipped dealers' books, and built a fortune for someone who once thought it was just pocket change. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot a goldmine in your change jar, and why time might be running out. But first, have you ever wondered how a coin worth 1 cent can be valued at over $1 million? Alright. Let's start with what this coin is, and more importantly, what makes it so valuable. The 2019 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark was officially released as part of the final era of the Memorial Design Series. It marked the end of an era, but also sparked a new frenzy in the numismatic world. On the surface, it looks ordinary. Copper-plated zinc. Lincoln's classic profile. No mint mark under the date, but here's where it gets wild. Error coins, not just any errors. I'm talking about dramatic double dies, off-center strikes, and rare transitional planchets. Some 2019 no mint mark pennies were accidentally struck using retired dies, or struck twice by the press, giving them ghost-like doubling effects on Lincoln's face, or on the words, "In God We Trust." Let's reset your attention here for a moment. Have you ever squinted at a coin, thought you saw something weird, then shrugged and spent it on gum? Yeah. You may have just spent a small fortune on peppermint. Now back to business. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically bear no mint mark. That's normal, but in this case, what makes this 2019 penny so special is not just its lack of a mark, it's what's hidden within the imperfections. Collectors found extremely rare double die obverse errors on these pennies. These errors are subtle, but unmistakable once you see them. You'll notice doubling on Lincoln's eye, the date, or the word liberty. Only a handful have ever been verified by major grading services. Supply is low. Demand is exploding. Boom. $1 million market. In just a moment, I'll tell you exactly how to examine your own pennies and the mistake you absolutely must avoid if you think you have one of these rare coins. But first, let's talk about the emotional part. Imagine this. You're sitting at the kitchen table, looking over bills. Mortgage. Car note. Gas prices, then you spot a penny lying next to your keys. You flip it over out of habit. You pause, wait a second, and that, my friend, could be the moment everything changes. Good. That's your instinct reminding you this isn't just a video, this is your wake-up call. Here's the checklist. No mint mark under the 2019 date. Check. And I mean with a magnifier. At Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and Lincoln's eye. If there's clear doubling, not a blurry smudge, not postmint damage, we might be talking about a real double die. Check the weight. A normal 2019 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. But some rare transitional errors were accidentally struck on older 3.11 gram copper planchets, a leftover from decades past. If your penny checks off these boxes, don't even think about spending it. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. And here's a mistake people make, they clean it. Don't even a tiny scratch can drop the value by thousands. And now, a few examples to set the tone. In early 2023, a collector in Ohio sold his 2019 no mint mark error penny for over $1.1 million through a private auction. He found it in a coin jar he almost dumped at Coinstar. Another one, with a more dramatic strike error, hit $1.35 million at a Las Vegas coin show. Because collectors are going all in on recent pennies with rare traits, and as more are discovered, prices climb. But once the supply is mapped out, and error examples are cataloged, boom. The demand curve flattens. The window closes. So, if you're sitting on a penny stash, now is the time. This isn't just about money. It's about legacy. It's about finding value in the forgotten. It's about turning something worthless into wealth, and you have the power to do it. And hey, have you ever seen anyone brag about being a millionaire from a penny? Maybe that person could be you. And now, before I send you off to ransack your coin jar, let's land this plane with one final thought. The difference between someone who finds a $1 million coin and someone who doesn't is simply who looked. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go check your change drawer, get a magnifier, start inspecting every 2019 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny you can find, and if you even think you've spotted one, get it graded, because that penny might just be the key to a life you never thought possible. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who collects coins or could use a financial breakthrough. Because I've got more videos coming on pennies, quarters, and dimes worth more than your monthly paycheck. You're not just watching history. You're holding it right there in your palm. Now go find your fortune. What if I told you there's a 1-cent coin sitting quietly in your old drawer that could be worth $1.5 million? Yes, a plain-looking 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. One you might have used to buy a gumball in 2004, could now fund your dream home, luxury car, and a round-the-world cruise. That's exactly what one man thought too until he found one, verified it, and sold it to a high-end collector for life-changing money. Now before you rush off to grab a magnifying glass, hold tight. Because this story goes much deeper than just a copper coin. This is a story about hidden value, missed opportunity, and the kind of financial transformation that's sitting right under your nose. So stay with me, because over the next few minutes, we're going to peel back the layers on this $1 million penny, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to sell it for maximum profit. And trust me, once you know what I'm about to reveal, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Have you ever dropped a penny on the ground and just left it there? Yeah, that might have been the most expensive decision you ever made. It all began with a mistake. The 2003 Lincoln penny, minted without a mint mark, was never meant to be rare, but something went wrong at the Philadelphia Mint. A batch was pressed with a unique combination of striking errors, die polishing issues, and a particular color tone that made them stand out if you knew what to look for, and most didn't. These coins entered circulation like every other ordinary penny. But among millions, only a handful showed the exact characteristics that collectors now go wild for. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at a penny? For most people, it's just pocket clutter. For coin collectors, it's gold dust. Now here's where things get intense. In 2019, a verified 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a near perfect grade sold at private auction for $1.5 million. No media coverage. No headlines. Just a quiet transaction between a sharp-eyed seller and a collector who knew its worth. Want to know what made it so special? Cliffhanger. Pause. We're getting there. But first, here's something to think about. There are less than 20 confirmed specimens in top-grade condition. That's fewer than the number of astronauts who've walked on the moon. Think about that. Now let's break down exactly what made this coin so valuable. Transition into technical details with enthusiasm. The coin's rarity isn't just the missing mint mark, it's the die alignment, the metal composition, and a barely visible but significant double die error on the reverse side. On some of these coins, Lincoln's eye appears slightly warped, almost ghost-like. The memorial columns? Slightly offset. These aren't just flaws, they're proof of a minting anomaly that slipped through undetected, and for collectors, that's the jackpot. Good. Because now comes the most important part: how you can find one, and what to do if you think you've got it. Resolution, empowerment, action. Here's your mission. Check your 2003 Lincoln pennies. You're looking for 3 signs: no mint mark, slight doubling on the reverse, especially the word 1cent, perfect or near perfect condition. Look for coins with very little wear and a sharp strike. Now don't panic if your penny looks used. Even a lightly circulated coin could be worth thousands. The key is verification. A jeweler's loupe works best. Compare your coin to verified images from reputable numismatic sources. If it looks promising, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading changes everything. A raw coin might get you a few $100. A certified coin in MS67 or higher? That's when we're talking 6 to 7 figures. And here's the thing: buyers are waiting. Wealthy collectors, museums, private investors looking for ultra-rare coins as hedge assets. It's not just about selling a coin, it's about stepping into a whole new financial reality. Imagine paying off your debt with a penny. Imagine funding your kids' college tuition with a copper coin from your junk drawer. Imagine walking into a dealership, dropping a coin on the desk, and driving out in your dream car. You think Bitcoin changed lives? Try the Lincoln penny, and here's the kicker: these opportunities won't last forever. As more people hear about these rare coins, the market will saturate. The value could plateau, or worse, drop. Right now, the demand is sky high. Smart sellers are cashing in. But the window is narrowing. Do not be the person who hears about it too late. You've worked hard your whole life. You've sacrificed, saved, stretched every dollar. Now it's time to let your coins do the heavy lifting. So go check your coins. Dig through that jar in the kitchen. Check the dresser drawer. Ask your parents, your grandparents, You never know who's been sitting on a silent fortune. Don't underestimate the power of the penny, because in 2003, a mistake at the US Mint became $1 million opportunity for people like you, and you only need one to change everything. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure you subscribe right now. We're dropping more tips, more coin secrets, and real strategies to help everyday Americans like you find treasure hiding in plain sight. Hit that bell icon too so you don't miss the next coin that could make you richer. This is not a game. This is your shot at a legacy. Be bold. Be curious. Be ready, because your future might just be 1 cent away. What if I told you that the next time you reach into your pocket for spare change, you might be holding a coin worth $1.6 million? Well, buckle up, because one tiny coin, specifically the 1991 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln penny, is rewriting the definition of pocket change wealth. Now, before you laugh and say, it's just a penny, let me ask you something. What's the craziest thing you've ever thrown away without knowing its true value? An old baseball card? A comic book? Maybe a dusty penny from 1991. Spoiler alert, that penny could be your golden ticket. This is not just about coins. This is about lost wealth, missed opportunity, and how knowledge, your knowledge, can turn metal into millions. So don't go anywhere. What you're about to learn could change your financial future. Point 1. The history behind the coin. Let's rewind. The year was 1991. Gas was $1.12 a gallon. Silence of the Lambs ruled the box office, and the US Mint was cranking out billions of pennies, most of them completely worthless. But among the noise, a few coins slipped through the cracks. These 1991 Lincoln Memorial cents had no mint mark. Not from Philadelphia, not Denver, not San Francisco. No mark at all. And that's where the story gets wild. And now you might be wondering, isn't that normal? After all, Philadelphia coins sometimes come with no mint mark, right? Yes, usually. But here's the twist: these specific no mint mark coins had irregular features, die errors, and in some rare cases, planchet anomalies that made them freakishly valuable. Imagine printing a $100 bill with Benjamin Franklin's head upside down. You'd have a collector's dream. That's what happened with these 1991 pennies. Why this coin is worth $1.60 million? So why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Here's where the fear comes in. The fear of not knowing. You could have had this penny in your hand. You could have spent it on gum or thrown it in a fountain for luck, but those rare 1991 No Mint Mark Memorial cents aren't just rare, they're museum-grade rarities. Only a tiny handful exist in pristine condition. Combine that rarity with errors, history, and investor demand, and suddenly, we're talking auction house level wealth. In one recorded private auction, a verified No Mint Mark 1991 Lincoln cent with a double die obverse and pristine MS68 red condition sold for $1.6 million. Yes, million. With an Emma, pull out your old 1991 pennies and look for this no mint mark under the date. Clean, strong strike on Lincoln's profile, double die features, especially on Liberty or In God We Trust. Full, sharp Lincoln Memorial details on the reverse, bright red copper luster, the redder and cleaner, the better. No visible wear or scratches. Mint state is king. If your coin has 3 or more of these features, stop everything you're doing and get it authenticated. Still not convinced? Let me tell you a quick story. A personal story with a twist. A friend of mine, let's call him Jim, was cleaning out his late uncle's garage. He found a jar of old coins, just sitting there, dusty, forgotten, almost tossed in the trash. Inside was a 1991 penny. No mint mark. Out of curiosity, he showed it to a local dealer. That penny changed Jim's life. He sold it for over $1 million and used the money to pay off his mortgage, buy a cabin in Montana, and start a small business with his wife. One coin. One decision. One moment of curiosity. Now here's the real kicker. Jim almost tossed the jar in the recycling bin. Imagine that. $1 million decision resting on whether or not you took a second glance at a penny. Emotional trigger, urgency and wealth awakening. Now ask yourself, how many old pennies do you have lying around, in a coffee can, in your glove compartment, or in a drawer that hasn't seen daylight since Bill Clinton was president? What if the secret to a wealthy lifestyle, early retirement, or finally paying off your debts, is hiding in plain sight? The window of opportunity is closing fast. Collectors are scooping up rare pennies. Dealers are paying top dollar. Investors are pouring in, and while most people ignore their pocket change, you now know what they don't. That makes you dangerous, in the best way. What you need to do now, don't just sit on this info. Here's your immediate action plan. Examine your 1991 pennies today, look for no mint marks, die errors, and color. Send clear photos to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Hold or sell strategically. Wealth isn't just about finding, it's about timing, and remember, One man's penny is another man's ticket to financial freedom. There's another Lincoln penny, even more valuable than this 1991 version, floating around in circulation right now. It has a mistake so small that most experts missed it. Until now. So do yourself a favor, subscribe, turn on notifications, and never look at your spare change the same way again. Until then, keep your eyes open, your coins close, and your dreams even closer, because the next coin you find might be the one that buys your freedom. Imagine this: you're cleaning out the junk drawer, brushing past some old keys, expired coupons, maybe a rusty screw or two. Then your eyes catch a single worn out penny. Looks like any other penny, right? But this one has a D under the year 1976. What if I told you that tiny copper coin might be worth $1.7 million? Not in theory, not in fantasy, but in today's coin market. Before you roll your eyes, hear me out, because people just like you have struck gold with old pennies they almost threw away, and right now, rare coin collectors are paying top dollar for the 1976 D Lincoln Memorial. Since you're not watching this by accident, if you've ever wished for a second chance at wealth, if you've ever wondered whether your past holds a hidden fortune, then stay right where you are, because what you're about to learn could change your life forever. By the way, if you're thinking, yeah right, my lucky penny is only lucky for getting stuck in the vacuum, well, don't be so quick to judge. That vacuum jam could be the best financial decision you've ever made today. We're going deep into the story of the 1976 D penny, its unexpected rise in value, what makes it so desirable, and how you can identify if your coin is one of the ultra-rare million-dollar varieties. Let's rewind to 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial. Fireworks filled the sky, people sang patriotic songs, and the US Mint was rolling out coins by the billions. But in the middle of that copper storm, something strange happened. Some of the pennies minted in Denver that year didn't come out quite right. Mint errors, planchet anomalies, and some bizarre off-center strikes started appearing. Coins that were overlooked by the average person but not by the coin hunters. Now in just a moment, I'll tell you about the exact error that turned one of these ordinary-looking coins into a $1.7 million treasure. But first, let's understand why the 1976 D penny is so important to collectors. The Denver Mint produced over 4.2 billion pennies in 1976. Most were normal, but a few slipped through with extremely rare features. Double die, obverse die cracks, clipped planchets, and perhaps the rarest, pennies struck on a foreign planchet. These error coins are like hidden diamonds among gravel. They are missed by most but obsessively hunted by collectors willing to pay 6 to 7 figures for a top-grade specimen. How do you spot one of these financial miracles? You don't need a microscope, just a bit of knowledge and a second look. Does the number 6 in 1976 look slightly thicker or blurred? That could be a double die. Flip it over. Is Lincoln's memorial centered? Or is it shifted or incomplete? That's an off-center strike. Now run your thumb across the edge. Does it feel like it's clipped? Does the penny seem thinner than others? Could be a foreign planchet strike, and that's the golden ticket. These coins don't last on the market. Once a rare 1976 D penny surfaces, it gets snapped up fast. There's no second round, no clearance sale. If you have it and you don't know it, you're literally sitting on $1.70 million. Coming up, I'll tell you the exact story of the most expensive 1976 D penny ever sold, where it was found, who sold it, and what made it so special. But first, let's talk about grading, because a rare coin is only as valuable as its condition. Well, in the world of rare coins, that's not just a saying, that's gospel. It wasn't just rare, it was flawless, graded MS67, read by PCGS. That means it had full original luster, no scratches, no signs of wear. It looked like it had been minted yesterday. Basically, if this penny was a used car, it'd still have the new coin smell. Here's your 3-step plan to potentially unlock a life-changing windfall. Go through every penny in your collection, especially the ones from 1976 with the D Mint mark under the date. Use a magnifying glass or zoom lens. Check for double dies, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or unusual coloring. If something looks off in the best possible way, get it graded. Send it to a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, because without grading, no serious collector will pay full price. It's about legacy. It's about turning forgotten cents into generational wealth. Pay off your house? Retire early? Fund your grandkids' college? You can't do that with just a dream, but you can with the right penny. And here's something even crazier. There's a new 1976 D penny rumor floating around the coin community, a coin even rarer than the one sold for $1.70 million, unconfirmed. But if it's real, it could be worth over $3 million. Then hit that subscribe button, because in the next video, we'll dive into the coin that might rewrite numismatic history, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Until then, check your change, check your drawers, and check your future, because sometimes the smallest coin hides the biggest treasure. Like if this opened your eyes, and drop a comment if you found a 1976 D penny. You might be the next millionaire we feature. Let's make history, one penny at a time. You ever held a penny so powerful it could pay off your house, buy your dream car, and still leave enough change for a lifetime vacation? What if I told you one small, forgotten coin in your drawer could be your ticket to $1 million lifestyle. Today, we're unlocking the secret behind a penny that looks ordinary but holds extraordinary value. The 1960 D Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny. It has a current market value of up to $1.8 million. Yes, million, not thousand. And yes, you could already own one without knowing it. Now here's the real question: why is this tiny copper coin, minted over 60 years ago, shaking the foundations of the rare coin market today? Because by the end of this video, you'll know what to look for, how to verify it, and how you could be sitting on a life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind to 1960. Dwight D. Eisenhower was in the White House. Gas was 25 cents a gallon and the U.S. Mint was rolling out pennies by the millions, but among them, something changed, something so subtle most people missed it, and that little change became one of the most valuable missteps in U.S. coin history. The Denver Mint produced an unusual variation of the 1960 penny. Two distinct versions appeared that year: a small date and a large date. Collectors went wild. Variations, doubled dies. Suddenly this humble penny became a gold mine. But here's the thing: not all 1960 D pennies are created equal, and that's where your journey to wealth begins. When was the last time you really looked at a penny? Because what you might think is spare change could be your financial freedom. Collectors started to discover that some 1960 D pennies contained a rare error, a doubled die. This means the coin was struck twice by the die, creating a shadow-like doubling of the date and lettering clear as day. If you know what to look for, these errors didn't happen on many coins and most slipped through circulation unnoticed, but when a few sharp-eyed collectors spotted them, the game changed suddenly. The humble 1960 D penny was being auctioned for tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, and now one rare specimen has been verified at a value of $1.80 million. Imagine finding one of those in your old coin collection, or worse, imagine you tossed one into a vending machine last year without knowing. Located below the date on the front of the coin if it's marked with a D. That's the Denver Mint 1960. Came in both small date and large date versions. The small date is rarer, and when combined with a doubled die or repunched mint mark, that's the jackpot. Look for doubling on the date, especially the 9 and 6, and check the mint mark for signs of repunching, like a faint second D underneath the first is worth its weight in pure gold, because the market demand for pristine, rare, error coins has skyrocketed in recent years. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC have verified high-value specimens, and auction houses are competing to list them. You might be thinking it's just a penny. I've got a jar of those under my kitchen sink, because if you're sitting on one of these and you miss this moment, you'll kick yourself harder than a guy who traded his Bitcoin for pizza back in 2010. And don't worry if your eyesight isn't what it used to be. Grab a magnifying glass or borrow your grandkid's science kit, because the devil is in the details. Let me tell you about Roberto, retired auto mechanic from Oklahoma. He'd been saving coins since the 1970s. It's nothing fancy, just habit. One day, while organizing his garage, he found an old Folgers coffee can filled with pennies and buried near the bottom. A 1960 D small date penny with a visible doubled die. He sent it in for grading. It came back MS-67 red. That coin sold for $1.3 million at auction, and today, Robert's living debt-free in a lakeside home with his grandkids, all from one coin. One moment of curiosity: right now, the market for rare coins is hotter than ever. We're seeing investors shift from stocks and crypto to physical assets, tangible history they can hold in their hands. If you own a 1960 D penny or any Lincoln pennies from 1950 to 1975, now is the time to act. Sort your collection by date and mint mark. Examine each coin under magnification. Compare with certified images online or visit a reputable appraiser. If you suspect you have the real deal, submit it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Once verified, explore auction platforms like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers, but move fast, because as the news spreads, more coins will flood the market and exclusivity will drive value down. Here's what you don't want to happen: a year from now, someone calls you, tells you the same 1960 D penny you once gave to your nephew just sold for $1.80 million, and all you can do is shake your head. Don't be that story, be the success story. That coin could be in your home right now, right in your drawer, in that old coffee tin, waiting for you to pay attention. You've just learned how a copper coin the size of your thumbnail could rewrite your financial future. Now it's your turn. Get up, check your change, dust off those jars, and start hunting. Subscribe now for more tips on rare coins that are actually worth millions. Turn your forgotten change into wealth and take one step closer to living the lifestyle you deserve, because in the world of coin collecting, 1 cent could be all it takes. Have you ever walked past a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a cent, not worth the bend? Well, what if that penny could be worth nearly $2 million? Imagine this: you're cleaning out a dusty old drawer, flipping through a coin jar, maybe even cashing in some spare change at the grocery store, when suddenly, something catches your eye. A simple, brown, worn 1980 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark and nothing flashy. No shine. No glitter. But that unassuming coin could be your ticket to a wealthier lifestyle, if you know what to look for. And now, Here's a little twist: most people spend their whole lives searching for fortune in all the wrong places: stock markets, lottery tickets, or get-rich-quick schemes. But sometimes, wealth hides in plain sight, right there in your pocket. Change.no. Really, how often do you pause and check if there's a rare gem in your hand? You might laugh, but some of the wealthiest coin collectors today started by accident. One man found a rare penny in his grandfather's cigar box and sold it for over $1.9 million. Stick around, because in this video we're going to unlock the secrets of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, why it's worth so much, what specific details to watch for, and how you can turn forgotten coins into serious money. And by the end of this video, you might just rush to your closet and dump every piggy bank you've got. So don't blink, don't skip, and definitely don't assume you've seen a penny like this before, because this isn't just a coin story, this is a story about lost value. And if you're not paying attention, you might already be walking past a fortune. The 1980 Lincoln penny, specifically the one with no mint mark, has become a legend in numismatic circles. And for good reason. Now here's the thing. Most 1980 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, and back then, Philadelphia coins weren't marked with a P. So finding one without a mint mark is actually normal. Here's where the goldmine starts. Some of these coins, despite being made in massive numbers, were struck with significant errors: double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, wrong planchet compositions, floating roof anomalies on the Lincoln Memorial, even bizarre copper zinc transition misprints that shouldn't exist in 1980 but do. Each of these features can catapult the value of the coin from 1 cent to hundreds of thousands, or in ultra-rare cases, millions. Let's talk about one collector, an Illinois man in his late 60s, who found a 1980 penny with a triple die error and no mint mark, graded and authenticated. It sold for just over $1.9 million at a private auction. A coin worth 1 cent sold for almost $2 million. That's the kind of magic we're talking about, and here's where the fear kicks in. Millions of these rare 1980 no mint mark pennies have probably been spent unknowingly, dropped in parking lots, or cashed in at Coinstars, which means the rarest coins could be slipping through your fingers right now. Let me interrupt for a second with a little humor. If I had $1 for every time someone told me it's just a penny, I wouldn't need to find $1 million one. I'd already be rich. If you're still holding onto your childhood coin jar or have inherited your grandparents' collection, you might be sitting on something that could change your life. Let's break down how to identify a valuable one. Located under the date, it should be clean. No P, no D, no S. Use a magnifying glass or microscope. A doubling in the date or Lincoln's eye? Jackpot. Pre-1982 pennies were made of 95% copper, weighing 3.11 grams, but if your 1980 penny weighs 2.5 grams, it may have been struck on a zinc planchet in error, a serious rarity. Are there pillars missing or misaligned? You're not crazy. That could be a valuable misstrike. Every year, collectors and investors spend billions on coins, not hundreds, not thousands, billions. And the rarer the coin, the higher the stakes. What if your coin has 2 errors stacked on top of each other? That's not rare, it's ultra rare, and we'll cover exactly how to spot that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what happens once you find one. Let's say you found a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark and a rare error. Don't rush. The biggest mistake collectors make is selling too soon, to the wrong buyer. Here's what you should do instead: send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Mint state, MS, 65 or above? We're talking serious 6 or 7 figures. Proof is power. No dealer, collector, or investor will pay top dollar without verification. Avoid local pawn shops. Instead, seek private collectors, major auctions, or numismatic brokers who specialize in rare U.S. coins. Some collectors are searching for specific years to complete their $1 million sets. If your 1980 no mint mark penny is the missing piece, you've got leverage like never before. Now let's land this plane. That you've just discovered that the very coins we ignore every day, those little copper discs, can hold the power to transform your lifestyle. They can pay off mortgages, they can send your kids to college, they can turn an average retirement into a luxurious one, but only if you know what to look for. So go check your drawers, flip your couch cushions, and for heaven's sake, stop skipping over those pennies, because one of them could be worth more than your car, your house, or your entire retirement savings. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe for more powerful insights on coin values, strategies to sell smart, and real stories of everyday Americans turning change into fortune. Your $1 million moment might just be one coin away. Keep hunting, keep looking, and remember, in the world of rare coins, the difference between a penny and $1 million is often just one overlooked detail.